Pokemon Horizons episode 100 finally gave us what we've been waiting to see. The whole crew, the whole Horizon Vault Tacklers coming back together and setting out for the skies once again to continue this journey. It was such a great episode and real emotional as we finally get all the adults coming back to the Horizon Vault Tacklers, and it's all thanks to Liko, Dot, Roy and Alt. They've really strived to restart the Horizon Vault Tacklers and start this adventure once again. They felt like it wasn't over, there was still more to do, and this was just a culmination of everything that's led up in this arc. I thought this was such a parallel to the last episode where we see Orla beating herself up, really sad that Freed is gone, still not really getting over it, but this one was just a complete contrast and the mood just flipped, and it was such a emotional and just a great episode. It does kick off with the Explorers, and we have a 4 versus 2 battle against these 2 Paldean Tauros, and we do learn some interesting stuff that the Requiem, if it is affecting the Pokemon, then the trainers can't actually command them what to do. They just say attack and the Pokemon will just rampage. They won't actually be able to control them, so it basically defeats the whole purpose of a Pokemon battle. It destroys that trainer and Pokemon bond that we all know is so important, and obviously our characters pick up on that and manage to defeat these 2 nobodies from the Explorers. But I think thanks to this little event, Orla snaps out of it and she kind of realises the harm that the Explorers are doing with these strong spheres, and she cannot stand for it. This kind of gets her out of her little funk and makes her decide that she's going to fix up the brave Asagi, give her 3 days, and then they'll set out again and they'll bring back the Horizon Vault Tacklers. It was such a great moment, and the animation, the music, everything in this episode was just felt like a proper reunion. It was the getting back together of the Horizon Vault Tacklers, and it was pretty beautiful. I also love the shot of Cap sitting back on the captain's chair watching over, and I think he did this when everyone else was asleep, so like I love how nobody's watching him do this. He's ready, he's just ready for the new adventure. We also get a little montage of everyone else doing their bits to help out the ship, getting it ready to start again, and it was just a really nice episode, a really light-hearted and feel-good sort of vibe going on. But then of course, out of nowhere, we see Murdoch and Molly. They are coming back as well, not just Orla. Apparently after the kids visited Murdoch, he actually rang Orla and said he is first in Fort Adventure again, and he wanted to set off as well. And it was a bit different with Molly, more so Orla rang Molly and told her that they were getting the crew back together, which would make sense. Molly wouldn't be the one to reach out, but straight away she didn't have any questions. Both of them joined and the whole gang were back together, except for one man, Ludlow. Where is this guy? They were saying that Ludlow doesn't have a smartphone, so they couldn't contact him, and what do you know, Ludlow is just there in his exact spot, sitting at the front of the ship, just out of nowhere. This man is so hilarious. This made me laugh so much. It just fits his character so well. Nobody knows what he's doing. He's got these fake personas going on. He's just such a mystery, and this just adds to his character, and it was the perfect way to bring him back, in my opinion. It's almost as if Ludlow knew this was going to happen, and he was just kind of waiting for everyone to realise they were being weird and just come back to the ship. We also get the official joining of the Horizon Vault Tacklers for Alt. I'm still a bit unsure on his character. I feel like he's funny, he has some good gags like the travel sickness and the weirdness around girls. He's quite funny, but I'm still waiting to buy into his character on like an emotional level or understand his motives or something. So we'll see what happens with him, but I'm not fully bought on him just yet. But it was just so nice to see all of these characters back in their natural habitats. Molly back in the doctor's office, Murdoch back cooking up that food, Orla back in the engine room, and of course Captain Pikachu back on his perch looking out onto the horizon. But then the big twist, we get a mysterious coded message. Doc manages to decode it. It's from about a month ago, and the first words we hear are "Freed here." My boy is alive, and I can't tell you how happy I was to hear this. I think we all knew deep down that he was still alive. I don't think Pokemon were just going to kill off a main character like that, but it's such a great way to bring him back, teasing that he's just out there, he's still researching the Requiem, he can't get figured out by the Explorers, so he's laying low, and I knew something like this would happen. But I think they could have maybe had the moment hit harder if he just turned up in person to like save someone in a dire situation. But Horizons likes its in-depth story, so it makes sense for them to do this and reveal that he is alive now. So now that the Horizon Vault Tacklers have something more to fight for, just one more thing, they now know Freed is out there and they can rescue the boy. And of course, what is the Horizon Vault Tacklers without their signature handshake? The episode ends off with Liko and everyone just saying, let's do the thing. And also, like, what thing? What are you talking about? And they do the handshake that we see so many times from as early as episode 3. Of course, we were going to get it here in episode 100. And we also get the first opening playing over this montage, and it was just so good. Already feels nostalgic, even though we're 100 episodes in. And, you know, thinking back to them early Horizon Vault Tackler days. And I'm just so glad that we have this crew back together. This is the beating heart of Pokemon Horizons. I was saying last week, it just doesn't feel the same without the ship, without all the adults and the crew all together. It didn't have the same vibe. There was something missing, and I'm just glad that everyone is back. And we're going to find the boy Freed and take down the explorers again. The episode does end with a little line from Spinel saying the ship has taken flight, and he's basically going to just swat it back down, just being as brutal and lethal as he always is. So I'm looking forward to all the confrontations with this newer version of the explorers. But that's going to be it for this one. I thought episode 100 was perfect. It was a perfect way to do an episode 100. If you could ask for anything, it would be reuniting of the Horizon Vault Tacklers, setting out once again. It's such a great way to get this crew back together, and I loved it. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.